of being here. Let's see everything. Let's see if everything just works out.
Mm-hmm.
What does it like reposition the cameras?
No, I'm still worried about just because, just with one person being gone, like even the audio will break because I'm missing something because I am so concerned about everything else that something unrelated to video is going to break.
It's gonna be fine.
I
Just fine.
trust it.
Just remember to just remember to unmute yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust. See, I hear my own voice, so that's a good sign.
Mic check.
That for me that it when I realize I've not unmuted myself, it's like I'll be like, I'm missing my sweet sultry voice. Anywho, before I get down,
calm down, Luther.
Before I go down a deep dark hole, what's good, everybody? It's Thursday, January 21st, 2021. And it's time once again for another Tech Talk Thursdays. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Marcus Major Linux. I'm joined this weekend every week by KKS Gaming.
Hey, it's your boy Kev.
I'm joined this week by Cynthia. All monitor mounted up now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we had some tech upgrades over here in the House of Sin.
Oh, yeah.
We sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Increasing his proficiency, efficiency. I don't know if proficiency is a word. I don't know if that'll fit. So we're going to strike that from the record. Efficiency up 2,000%. So now he's got all that desk space. Somehow.
It's true. It's true.
Even with my monitors mounted, I'm still like, yeah, I need more.
Mm-hmm.
I need more space. I think I've come to some realizations this week.
Okay.
I've now realized that I am lactose intolerant. I'm just going to call it.
No. I hate to
had to order me a box of lactate.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely fixed the problem.
We shall see.
We
shall see.
Look, I've tested with a bowl of cereal and some cookies and milk, and smooth sailing.
Hand clap praise for lactating. Hand clap praise.
Something this is one of those moments where it's kind of like, and this is where we thank God for science and the people who explore those fields.
Because the alternative is to get to cut out dairy, and my life is like, no, fuck that.
Mm-mm.
So what we're going to do is take one of these and go have the ice cream is what we're going to do because we're black as hell. That's what we do. We don't come up with these alternate diets. We go, how do we suppress the symptoms?
Yeah, I'm not giving up cheese. Fuck that shit. You know how much I love pizza? No.
But it also goes
what you're not going to do is tell me I can't have that mac and cheese on Thanksgiving by the one person in my family who makes it the way that I want. Oh no, we're good.
The devil is a lie. We're not doing that.
So it's also another revelation that came out of all this, which brings me back to what we're talking about. I think I'm a hoarder. I think I'm a hoarder now. It's either that or now I've gotten into a house where I'm starting to nest, and I'm like, I need more things. I need places to put the things that I get, and I'm running out of space. It's not a thing. It's not a problem I've had to deal with before. It's like, great. Now I've actually got to look into more bookcases or shelves.
I feel like we're at the age now. We're at the age now, but we are like, you know how like our moms and our parents were like very, especially our moms was like very like on bric-a-brac, like the precious moments figures, and just like whatever thing, you know, like candelabras, candlesticks, decorative things.
Making sure to get a full-size print of every picture you've ever taken since second grade.
Yeah, just like that level of like, we need stuff on walls and we need stuff that is breakable and, you know, that's collectible, but only to a certain subset of people. That's us now. because it's like we are loving the ideal of stuff now. Because when I look up now, I look up now and I see my pop figures, and they serve no immediate purpose, but I just love the fact of looking at them and being like, "Oh, that's Nathan Drake. Oh, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, that's Steve Hiller." I love that now.
That is
It's a
bumming
calming
me
effect.
out.
I feel weird that I'm going in the opposite direction, but I
Mhm.
feel like it's one of those kind of preparing for takeoff things. For example,
Mhm.
I know that I wanted to get furniture, but in
Mhm.
order to get to that point, I've also been like, I'm just combing through stuff and going, you know, I don't want this and all this other stuff. And I think part of it is just because we have to be at home. I don't know if we
Mm.
thought about what having to be at home so much means, but it took me like the first thing that happened, I was just like, I want a standing desk, but I don't know if I could justify the amount of money it would take for me to have one because of this thing, and the other. First day they told us we were going to be on quarantine for longer than a month. I bought one. It was
Yeah.
$800. And I'm just like, if I have to be here, I
Mhm.
need to make sure that I just enjoy this space. So it's like, buy all the books, buy all the furniture. If we see the thing on Amazon, we don't do the reservations thing. And,
Mhm.
when you get to leave and you're not home all the time, it's
Mm.
easy to just go, oh, you don't really have to think about it or do it. But now that
Mhm.
you're at home all the time, you're just like, I have stuff I like and I want it in my house. It's kind of like, oh, wait, I need furniture to support all those things.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, for me, it's like, oh, at some point, I'm really gonna need to get like a table for that record player that I have.
Yeah. It's like you're thinking of the concept of feathering your nest now. You're like, oh, my nest. Like, I want my nest to be good because I'm home. Because as you say, we're home all the time. And of course, I would be like, yeah, I don't think I need this because I'm not really looking at this. But now,
It's like
I'm
mocking you.
yeah, it's like mocking me now because I'm like, I never think about my office PC because I'm always in here typing and doing stuff. But now that I'm home and I'm doing more work, and this doesn't have like the disk drive where I need the disk drive, I'm thinking like, well, now I'm sitting here working, and I'm thinking like, I could do this. This monitor is too small. I need a bigger monitor. Like, I need a better webcam than this. Just in case if I have to do Zoom calls, and I don't want to do Zoom calls in the room, and then the room look like this. Then I'm like, dude, I need a green screen. I definitely need a green screen. And
Like
then so
it made you have to think a lot about being in that space. And it also had to make you
yeah,
have to commit to things. So it's kind of like we're in a whole hold on, what substitute word do we want to use here? We're in a whole Panasonic,
You see, yep.
like
CES just happened. That works.
that works.
right?
That fits the
You
thing.
know, you have to like kind of commit to the space that you're in because it's kind of like I could up and move, I suppose, but do I really want to in this whole panna cotta? I don't think so. So that's a whole
That's
thing.
good. That's good. I'm gonna add that to the list.
You're by all means. So,
Mhm.
like maybe it's hoarding, but maybe it's this kind of like are these things that you've always wanted to do, but you just like couldn't justify it until you had to be at
Mhm.
home for month after month after month after month after month on end, where time has like ceased to be.
Mhm. Because you want things to be nice now, because it's like you're feathering your nest. Like,
Now that being said, it could actually be hoarding too, but also
oh, that too.
relax. Oh no, girl, not a Polaroid. Also, hey there,
I'm at,
Anka.
I'm adding that. I'm adding that to the list as well. I'm stealing all of it. I've been saying pandemonium, which definitely fits the pandemic and all the shenanigans therein. So
Anka, you are okay. You are fine. Go and get some rest. We was going to get there
what's up,
eventually,
Uncle?
but hey, now you're here. We said to say yes. Anka are the goat.
Mm-hmm.
Is feeling a little bit under the weather, so
Yeah.
sitting it out, taking it well deserved
She's
time off always.
yeah. She is sending her goat vibes through the chat as we speak now.
So I'm gonna let you guys know now. It is
Okay.
a bunch of tech news,
Okay.
Like one gaming story, and that only came through because Sim brought up Dead by Daylight. I saw that happen, and so when Sim brought it up, sorry. So let's
I
add
know
that.
what you're talking about.
I realized that when I added that just before the show started, that was the only gaming news I have. I mean, short of, hey, Resident Evil 8 is coming out in May. There's a demo on the PS5, and apparently it crashed the Sony servers, even though I don't think there's enough PS5s to do that. But
no, it's not enough.
here we are. Here we are. So there we go. We will get to the meat of the gaming news when we get there. But I do want to say that in this era of the Panopticon, I was sitting on that for like all of 2 minutes as y'all were saying better ones than me. In the era of this Panopticon, we did get a brand new president yesterday.
I was about to say, this is our first cast coming to you live.
Yes.
Wherein the president might be just not awful.
Yes.
Listen, the bar was
okay.
The bar was underground, and he did not trip over it. It's the first time.
He is part of Usma Kappa. He is okay. I'm fine with that. Like, I am fine with that. I knew some folk on Twitter who were like, "Yeah, I'm, forever mad," and I'm like,
okay, so I'm not the only one who's seeing that shit.
Where it was like, bro, what is the alternative? This is the Kobayashi Maru, bro.
All right, so I mean,
bro,
okay,
why are you mad?
First,
like, literally, why are you mad? I understand why you're mad, but why are you mad?
Okay, so
one thing at a time. One thing at a time.
I so appreciate that reference. Oh my god, I appreciate that reference.
What, the Kobayashi Maru?
Yeah. You're
Star
right.
Wars.
You're right. I was about to say, don't have the stands in your mailbox. They'll dox you tomorrow for that.
Yeah. Star Trek. Yeah.
So, something? I know that this was supposed to be Tech Talk Thursday, but we keep it real around here, so we might as well.
Exactly.
Like, how do y'all feel about it?
Yeah.
Again,
how do y'all feel about it?
I'm a person that look. Biden is not as progressive as I would like for him to be.
No.
But he got Trump out.
Yeah.
I'm a person who likes to segment and do bits first. I'm not gonna like. It's like a pizza. I'm not gonna sit there and try to eat the whole ass pot all at once just because I wanted pizza. No, I'm gonna tackle that one slice at a time until the pizza is gone.
Right.
And it seems like a lot of these people here. Well, yes, I understand that shit ain't working right for you. It ain't working right for everybody. There's some issues I gotta go on. Again, like I don't think I mentioned on the show, like we talk about we'll talk about the stimulus checks and all like that. I still ain't got mine. Now granted, I don't need it. I ain't hurting for it, but it still kind of sucks I ain't got it.
I feel like the fact that you ain't got your stimulus was like, you ain't got the first one. You didn't get the first one, did you?
Oh no, I got the first one. They direct deposit that one. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
They didn't give you the six. They didn't give you the 6 Hondo. Damn.
No, still don't know what it is. My wife, my wife's taking that with grace, so she's like, "Oh well, look, we read it, and they may include it as a part of the taxes when you file." Like that, no, that doesn't make me feel good.
But that you're just like, okay, that's cute. I hear you. I see you. I appreciate you. Also, I need that now.
Exactly.
It's like JG Wentworth. It's like JG Wentworth. It's like, it's my money and I want it now. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It's promised to you. They said the check was in the mail. How come the check ain't in the mail? Like that's pretty much what it comes to.
But what really sucks, so I read up on it. What really sucks is they're saying that if they mailed it out, but it gets returned to sender, they will not send a new one. And they said, look, if you have any issues, don't call us. Like, that's on their fucking website. I'm like, but
not until you I'm sorry, the shake machine's broken. Don't call me about it. Not
Kind,
that.
yeah,
The not literally. The ice cream machine is broken. Don't even.
yeah.
Don't call the 1-800 number.
So like, anyway,
The
like
shame.
that's why like this is the first time I've actually said it out loud to people that are not my wife or you all, because I know we talked about this in private.
Yeah.
Because the fact that like this isn't a big issue for me, but I know that this is an issue like other people are dealing with.
Mhm.
But it goes to say like shit ain't good for everybody.
Mm-mm.
Like the fact that your candidate didn't win, and like let's face it too, if Bernie was the one who ran and win, y'all gonna find something to complain about fucking Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like it's a thing where it's like these people are saying
Bernie got his ass. And Bernie got his ass beat during the civil rights movement. So like, bro.
But it's like,
so
I don't understand.
There's
why.
there is a particular point of commonality between those two that I feel, quiet as it's kept, needs to be addressed.
Yes.
But because it's a little bit problematic for me. But something, that is a longer discussion that I will have later. Here is where I feel like a lot of there's a lot of people I can't speak for. I'm keeping this to the House of Melanin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're just going to keep it there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a certain associated amount of, obvious, like tons and tons and layers of like trauma that comes from just continued, unabated, like displays of open and not as open racism across the board. The concern is, and these people have like histories and past and stuff that haven't necessarily been great for Black people either in other positions of power that they've been in. But the big thing that I see when people are just like, like ready with the swords drawn, even as this inauguration happens, is the way that people were so quick, even when we were in the middle of all of this nonsense for the last 4 years, to just be like, the last year and some change. Let's just narrow it down to that. Not even the last 4, just the last year. People were so like, y'all need to go to the offices and put in the vote and make sure that you get your friends to vote, talk to your family about voting, and make these voting plans so that y'all can get this man out of office and we can just go back to normal. And it was one of those, y'all are just so, it's at a point now that y'all can't ignore it, and it's inconveniencing you because you have to see it all the time now.
Right.
And there are just some people, a large amount of people for that matter, who are just like, I just want to get to the point that I don't see it anymore, where it's not on the news all the time, where I don't have to talk about it because this person isn't like flipping their shit on every form of social media and all this other stuff. And it's the concern, a very correct concern based on what I've seen so far, that people are going to be like, we put up our black square, we did it, he's out of the office now. And it's kind of like a, no. Like, you don't understand. Like, the people who were emboldened by that, the people who ran up on the state capitol didn't just disappear. Like, it's not like an enemy in an MMO where like you slay them and they fade off screen and you never see them again, right? It doesn't work like that. They're still like, all those people who were racist are now going to be racist, but in secret. The people who had Parler decided to like upload their stuff into Russian servers to be able to reach the United States. That was the whole thing. That was a whole side thing that happened. It's just like,
well, that's on the list.
The issue hasn't disappeared, but people are going to behave by and large like it is. Right. And the only thing that I have seen that I know to be true and what keeps me optimistic about these things is that when we were just as a collective, again, keeping that mostly to the House of Melanin because of the way that we were on the ground and organizing and talking and all of this stuff, and Stacey Abrams and all of the people behind her and alongside her being the examples of this, doing the work and doing the work and keeping informed and being loud and publishing things and making sure that stuff was seen and keeping us together was like, all right, as a collective, we can go ahead and get things done when we need to and as we need to, but that's only if we stay vigilant and pay attention. People are afraid of that vigilance going away now that the inauguration is over.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
that
like
That's what
that.
that's what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing in the way that people are responding to these things. They're afraid that people are going to be like, "Yay!" and the vigilance is going to go away.
and that
I'm
makes
like,
sense. And that makes sense. And I understand that completely. My whole issue with this is instead, like,
it's
like
conflicting because you're just like,
with,
at the one time you like let us have that moment of relief though.
yeah, and it's like, okay, now that we've had that, I'm not saying keep checking these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
You got them in, keep them in check, keep them in line, have them do what they say they're going to do.
mm-hmm. Get the phone call the office.
It's the fact, like, my issue is immediately as soon as this dude took office,
yeah,
there are people talking about, oh, Biden's a war criminal. Like, yo, like, relax here. Or the fact that, like, I had people in my mention is like, you know, can't celebrate Biden. I mean, I see that. I see why you're happy, but young brother, let me sit you down and tell you. It's like, dude, no.
It's like
the energy that you have here in my mentions to tell me why you think Biden is bad is the same energy you should. Like, hey, he's going to be more willing to work with you than Trump was.
Right.
I'd rather have that right now. Let's handle this. Let's get here first. Let's move with this, and then we can go further. The only way, like,
right.
You can't just jump.
And this is why I have to say, when I address these things, I have to address this to the House of Melanin, because I know that we have different opinions and we have to hold both of them attention. Mm-hmm. Some people are just like, listen, we got here, and I know that things are still a mess. I know that this person has a history and a past and that they have done some things that need to be addressed, but god damn, he is not Trump right now.
Right.
Let me have it.
Like,
let me have it.
That's like, can we bask in the glow of competence, please?
Like,
can we bask in the glow of being like some sense of normal, where like everybody is lying to me, like
no, like, did you see the interview with did you see the interview with Dr. Fauci today?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was great. It was great.
Like, when I say that man sat on the screen radiant, giddy. It looked like he had seen 50 Christmases at one time. He said, I was in a room where people said, we don't know, what does the science say about this? And he was just like,
yeah.
The way that this man was, like, he looked like if he was any more joyful, he would have come undone at the spot. Like, it's on that.
It's a thing where yesterday I showed my wife a section of the first press briefing with the press secretary, and she asked me, "Who is he? Who is she? What's her name?" I was like, "No disrespect to this woman, but I don't fucking know," and that's a good thing. That is a good. I do not know who this woman is. I know what her job is. I know what she's supposed to do, and she is doing it. She is not in the news. I don't give a shit.
I think her name is Jen.
It's like, again, like I had to really be clear. That I mean no disrespect to this woman at all, but the fact that I do not know who she is, the fact that I learned Sean Spicer's name the day he lied about those crowd sizes. The day, like, again, Trump's first day, I learned his press secretary's name. It was like, this is not how this is supposed to work. I don't know any of Obama's press secretaries. I don't know any of Bush's. I don't know any of Clinton's. But granted, you know, Clinton and Bush, I'm going to excuse myself because I was still, you know, high school, a little bit of college. But Obama, I didn't know anybody who was his press secretary. Like, those, like, if you watch any political drama on TV, like, those people are just kind of like side characters. Like, you don't give a shit who the press secretary is.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of West Wing. I've seen a lot of Madam Secretary. It's like the only reason why I know who these guys were is because they were written for me to know who they were. They had personalities. They had personalities. They had idiosyncrasies. They were like, yo, here's his press secretary. Here's the speech writer. Here's the chief of staff. And it's just like, we know because We know because of course we're gonna know because they're characters and they act as characters do. So for us to be like, who is this person? Who
not
posted this?
immediately and not immediately have like 5 lines of scandal immediately come to
Yeah.
mind.
For them to not be memes or like talking points or like, hey yo, she said blank. She's like old Kate, like old Miss Mackle.
You know,
She
like
was
you're not
like,
you're
she's
not
like,
gonna
I will
wake up
never lie, and then
tomorrow.
lied.
Here's just like you're not gonna wake up tomorrow with a news article on here is how many lies Joe Biden has told today. Like you're not
Right.
gonna have somebody who has a whole
Mm-mm.
Twitter account dedicated to hear every single lie he's ever told during press. Like
No.
Granted,
it's weird for me because the last 4 years have done a whole bunch of things, and there are some after effects I feel like we need to be careful about.
Right.
But like it's also, I'm gonna let y'all have this week. That's how I felt about that.
Yeah,
now,
right.
the other side of this is the people that we need to be concerned about are the people who live outside of the House of Melanin because they're just like, now we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to care.
no,
We can
you
put our
definitely still
we
do.
can we can
Yeah,
we
you
can
do.
put we
You
can
do.
we can put our
Still a whole
BLM
Panera
signs
bread out
away. We can put away. We can take the BLM out of our profile. We can finally fold up those Black Panther T-shirts. We can, like return our Malcolm X books back to the library. Like it's all of that stuff. And it's one of those. When you have a situation where you have to deal with someone who is so grossly vile and incompetent that we are salivating, ready to send money and our children to bless to this person because they have formed one coherent sentence and said, we should ask a scientist. I am just like, y'all, I have concerns. We need to I would very much like to get to the point that we can just see Joe Biden on his own merits and not in comparison to like literally Bowser running the White House for 4 years.
It's a thing where,
but that takes time.
It's a thing where I told y'all this morning. I forgot who it was I told. It's like, I want to know what the fuck is happening in Florida, and that's sad.
Yes,
that's sad. Like I was upset yesterday that I heard nothing.
Yes.
When he left, like, you watch the plane fly. Was they'll let us know when he gets to Florida. Nothing.
They said nothing. They were like, he let. It was like as soon as he left
early.
As soon as he left joint. As soon as he left Andrews, it was like it was the Biden show starring Biden with co-host Kamala Harris with
special guest scene
cast
stealing.
Of thousands.
Look, special guest stealing the scenes. Michelle Obama.
Oh, that woman.
Okay,
that woman is pure beauty.
Actually, we need to talk about her hairstylist. Her hairstylist was so bold. Like, hair was just out here, and people were ranting and raving about it, and she said, "Yes, it was me. Run me them checks. Thank you." And I'm just like, yes.
Did you see there was one where it was like, and I'm trying to remember how it is because I got to make sure I say it right. But it was like one where it's like when you have to be somewhere and when you want to be somewhere. The have to be was when the 2016 when the outgoing. 2020 was the now when you want to be there. So when you want to be seen, she's all like the flowing hair and the two-piece pantsuit with the belt buckle, and I'm like, yes. And then like 2000 when you don't want to be there, it's like the 2000 with the buttoned-up coat, the hair drawn back into a ponytail, little to no makeup. It's just like I'm just waiting to get on the plane. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm waiting to get on the plane to get back to the house. Where's the house at? Whatever. So yeah, we could see the two the two juxtapositions of I just want to leave to I'm about to stunt today. I'm about to break a couple of internets.
What was it? What was it? Marshall Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. It was definitely a Marshawn Lynch thing. I'm just here because I have to be here because my husband. I'm here for my husband. I love him, but I really wish we was at the house now. Like I really wish we were not here.
The way that Obama was like, I'm not gonna ask you for nothing for the rest of the year. I just need you to get through this one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby, I love you. We gonna go on vacation. Just get through this day, and we gonna go on vacation. And they went on vacation. After that, they went on vacation. Hung out with Richard Branson and everything. I was like, oh Lord.
Also, before eventually we gotta get some news here. But what to say, Sam?
I was gonna say like those. So the one thing I want to say here is
right.
You know, I hope that is the lesson that we take out of this is that there is a wonderful amount of things that we can do. Oh, yeah. A lot of good to be done in the world as long as we don't forget. You know, like we don't forget about all of this. Yeah. As long as we don't allow ourselves to just go, we can relax and not. You just said you signed 17 executive orders. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Or we're going to give you a couple of days to settle in. We understand that you came into this whole White House on fire and had to uninstall the Diet Coke button on the first day. Look, I get
it. Can I get that? Does it come with the guy?
No, it's just like, I get it. I appreciate it. I know that you're getting the house cook you used to making steak without ketchup on it. I know that you're using that trying to get all the like McDonald's wrappers out of your office. I get it. At some point, we're gonna have to ask you to like. We see that you have laid the groundwork to possibly do really good things. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna have to make sure that you follow through because the last time we took our eyes off of y'all for like 2 whole seconds, y'all had a whole insurrection.
Yep.
We're not doing all that again. None of that nonsense.
Look, I'm going to say the one thing the few things benefited me out of all those executive orders he signed. But the most important one, my student loans have been deferred to September of this year. So, hey.
Hand clap of praise. And
Now, see, what I'm hoping is that turns into from deferred to just be like, you know what?
Cancel. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting on. But look, as long as I'm not having to pay it now, I'm okay now. But look, again, that's that whole thing of let's check on it. Let's check on it and see where we at.
But listen, as long as these Philadelphia people don't like start calling me and being like, hey, so we need to talk to you about, no, you don't need to talk to me. Actually, the president told you that you can't. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Call Nelnet.
Yeah, I would be remiss not to mention what Anka said. Like, no, Bernie was there, so he didn't get fined.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the first thing. Bernie looked like he had 3 or 4 other places to stop to before he went home for that day.
I would have been that envelope.
He came out there with a tape measure and measured 6 feet in each direction and said, y'all better not step in this square. And just sat there in a folding chair. He brought that folding chair in there too, probably.
Bernie had the mail. He looked like he had a check. Looked like he's like, look, I gotta go to the post office. Then I gotta go to the bank, deposit the check.
Somebody say he came in looking like a public defendant.
Did you see the memes that they made out of this man? The one with him sitting at the train, lo-fi with Bernie. He's just sitting at the train station. They're playing lo-fi music in the background while the scene is going by the window, and just like
they drew him as what looked like to be an emote, and I'm like, somebody's gonna like crop that out and make their emote out of that.
Can we just make that? Can we make that PogChamp?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Also, good shout out to Young Con. Really awesome, like person of color artist. He drew Bernie. I retweeted it on my Twitter. It is by far. He made Bernie look like anime villain. He looked like
with the glasses just sitting there folded,
right there with the mittens. He looked like the dad from Evangelion. Like
I was about to say he looked like Shinji's dad from Evangelion.
Yeah. Like, get in the damn suit, son. Like, Oh man.
Yeah, I
Get
saw
in the
that
White House.
earlier
He just like
as
sitting
well.
here like get in the White House, Biden. It's just like I'm just all right.
Biden, no Biden.
Um,
He
but
looked like
yeah,
I
like
am here
yeah.
once
it's
again to
I'm
tell you.
now there are some things I have feelings about on those executive orders that half of them are just like, y'all, we're just going to something. Let's start with executive order number 1. Everything that Trump said, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a third of the executive orders are just like, no wall funding because we're not doing that. We're going to join all the climate change and observation science groups that we left and everything else. Like he's gonna have to spend like at least the first year of it being like, yo, that dude was a dick. And we're gonna have to kiki until people forgive us. That's what's gonna happen for like the whole first year. We're gonna talk about that part, but also
right. Fine. I love that.
But y'all didn't come here for this. Y'all were supposed to be here for the tech talk and stuff.
I mean, you come for the tech, but really.
Well, we can roll it in because, hey, first article I have here, Twitter plans for presidential transition, interactive parlor map of Capitol videos.
When I tell you the levels of
people are so
these people were doing the utmost, they were doing the utmost.
People are so dumb.
I mean, like, y'all did not know? Y'all didn't know?
Oh,
y'all had no idea. Y'all had no idea?
We'll get to that in a second. Let's first start off with what President Biden is inheriting from Twitter, because he sure as shit didn't inherit anything from Trump, especially when it comes to a vaccine plan. Anywho, CNN reports that this article was written before. CNN reports that President Joe Biden will, of course, inherit the official POTUS account, but with one significant change. The official presidential account POTUS, which Biden will inherit on January 20th, currently has 33 million followers, but that number is likely to change as Biden won't automatically inherit the followers of the previous administration when he officially takes control of the account on Inauguration Day.
Right. That is correct. They will archive it to POTUS 45.
Yes.
Yeah, so like again, that was noted, but I think what the change is here, he does not get the followers. So it's almost as if instead of just like moving the tweets over but keeping the followers, they're just like moving the whole ass account at this point.
No, that's what they do with all of them.
So I mean, according to this, that's not.
But I mean, the thing is that they did that with POTUS 44. Like it didn't like.
So the follower count didn't stay.
No.
It's basically like they take it, they archive it,
according
and then they
to Twitter,
move that person.
I'm just saying, according to Twitter, that's what they're saying they did.
Twitter
said last month that the account won't automatically retain its existing followers. Instead, Twitter will give the account followers the option to follow accounts under the Biden administration.
Now I did see Twitter did say that they were like, hey, basically almost in the way like, hey guys. Just so you know, we got a new guy, and he's on the POTUS account, and if you guys want to follow him, you totally can. In their own way, like, look, I know you guys blocked the old guy, so if you want to go and follow the new guy, it's really cool. We could do that now. But we just want to let you know that. And I was like, okay, follow. I literally had everybody blocked day of the not even the inauguration. I had everybody blocked as soon as it was found out that Trump was going to be president-elect. I pretty much just blocked everybody because I was like, block VP, block POTUS, block FLOTUS, block Second Lady, because I didn't want to see anything that came up with under the POTUS and of course 45 himself. Like I blocked him as well, quick fast. So that way, if anybody sent that to me, because there was a lot of people retweeting it, like, oh my God, look at what he said, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. So yeah, and then I'm just muted every mention and name of it, and so we were good. we were good for 4 years, and then it was just like that's when I knew it was official to me. Like, oh wow, I can unblock the president of the United States and the vice president now.
Or it's like I actually want to know what they're saying.
That too. Like, yes.
Yeah, all this other
Finally,
stuff
I
here at the
care.
bottom, it's kind of moot now because they're all they have their official accounts now. The fact that Pres-elect Biden was the account he was using, but now it doesn't exist. That's kind of funny. They just deleted the account when he became president. So, yep, we don't need this anymore. Ha ha.
Like, whoop. Yep. Like the transition. Just nope.
All right, now to the fun bits. Parlor.
Oh, Parlor.
Interactive Parlor map of the Capitol videos. Before social media app Parlor went offline, a white hat hacker was able to download all public posts, which we covered last week, including videos posted by rioters from in and around the Capitol building. A developer has now used this data to create an interactive map of the videos. The map is accessible on GitHub. Just zoom in and click on a map. Click on a map pin to watch the video shot from that location.
When
And boy, yeah, here it is, right here.
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when you're watching like the crime shows like NCIS and like CSI, and and we watch these shows about crime, and they always have some like bogus ass like expectation to be like computer enhance, turn the angles and everything. This is what this feels like now. It's like voice
Oh,
of the
like,
crowd.
okay,
From
so
the crowd.
this is the thing that's always wild to me because we're all in tech, so I think you can understand where I'm coming from with this. People who are just like, oh, that tech only exists on TV. You're just like, bitch, no.
No,
it's a real thing.
It exists. It exists, but it's always like television kind of like plays it a little bit in the vein of this is not how this doesn't seem real. It's real, but they always make it feel like it's not as real as it is. Like,
and they kind of and I feel like that's kind of part of the game. They have to, but I'm just sitting here just like, no, you don't understand because you know, I'm pretty sure all of us know, or at least some of us know, those websites that you can go to and it will literally say, hey, do you want to see what the street looks like at night? And we have routed all of the cameras in this area through this website, so you can just like flip through them at any time. Did you know that websites like that exist for like multiple cities in the United States? You can see clean down to the street. You could read a whole ass license plate from how far these things are from a car. Or you're just like, I know what's happening on 95th Street in the middle of Manhattan.
It's like now it's starting. It's like now it's starting to like run into the realm of plausible because of course we see it. Like I watched this one cop show where it's like, oh, we got this man's license plate off a bank ATM bank security camera, and we just followed him around that area, and I'm like, that's plausible because yes, that is how it works. That is how they do things.
That's people are just so fucking dumb.
Yep. Like, why would you turn geotag on? Why would you do that? I never turned that shit on. Like, I never.
Once again, you know that whole thing when you are not afraid of consequences.
Oh yes. Silly me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're like, oh, this is not gonna happen to me. It's gonna only happen to other people.
Like, I'm trying to find the White House on this map, but I am horrible at DC geography. I wouldn't know where to look, so I'm gonna stop trying. But yeah, it's baffling. There was one guy who, when the FBI came to arrest him, he told them I was dreaming. They pulled up a video, an Instagram video of him there. He's like, wait, how did y'all get that? I deleted that like within an hour of me posting it.
The internet is forever. The internet is forever. Caching words.
Oh my god.
Just because you delete something doesn't mean it's not off the
Oh,
internet.
as Anka pointed out, it's not because they turned it on; it's because they didn't turn it off. Remember,
Yep.
geocaching geocaching is an opt-out feature, not an
Yeah.
opt-in.
Not
Well,
opt-in.
well. Hold on. Depending how you actually no, it is an opt-in. It is an opt-in, but
Mm-hmm.
people don't pay attention when they set up their phones.
Right.
No, it just says allow.
Yep.
Yeah, sure, whatever you
Yep.
need to for the phone to work. And I'm like, no. Only when app is in use, or no, not at all. You don't need to know that. Twitter, you don't need to where I'm posting this from. Post my picture.
Mm-hmm. I don't want.
This is what Facebook was sitting trying to warn people. Apple's trying to turn off all this stuff. You have to opt into everything, and it's gonna hurt bit. Like, get out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of that.
Fuck out of here, Zuck.
Yeah. So, dumbass motherfuckers done dumbass shit. It's hilarious.
I say, what's one of our favorite phrases? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
My Gallery app doesn't need access to my phone contacts.
Exactly. Like, no.
I may have. Well, I'll allow it like once.
No.
So like, I love the fact with the iPhone, I could allow once when I just need it that one time because I do like to set contact pictures.
Mm-hmm. I was like, why does keep notes want to know where I am? I just want to write down my recipe for banana bread. Why do you need to know where I am when I want to make banana bread?
Honestly, at this point too, I tend to leave that shit on because like, look, if you try to subpoena me, if I make it to court for a thing, I want my phone location to tell me where the fuck I was at all times.
Dude, cell towers, bro.
I mean, y'all over here saying this like they don't like legit have like our address in the damn IP, no matter where we're logging from anyway.
Yeah, I just don't want my app. Like, my phone is going to tell me where I am at different parts of the time.
Well, luckily for me, my IP informs people that I'm in Connecticut.
Right.
You know, with those IP addresses that I bought from AT&T.
Right. Like,
the one that's broken tells them that I'm in either Cary or Garner.
Right.
But the IP addresses that I bought, the ones that I am using, tell them that I'm in Connecticut.
Yeah, I remember.
So that's fun.
I remember like when my family came in to the city, and I visited them at their hotel, and then like the next day it was like, hey, do you want to talk about your experience with Motel 6? And I'm like, if I was in a relationship and this had popped up,
yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those lately.
Like, it's like, bro, I don't want you to be telling me where I was thinking that I was doing something bad when I wasn't.
Yeah, I've been seeing those a lot lately because of the fact that I've been seeing those a lot lately because I've been walking around with my Pixel. Like, that's never happened on my iPhone, even with all the Google services that are attached to it.
Oh yeah, that's a Google thing. That's definitely
like that is happening so much because of my Pixel, and because I only use it for work. It was, hey, you want to talk about your experiences at NC State University at Engineering Building 2?
Yeah, I like
not even the students of NC State want to talk about their experiences at Engineering Building 2. What the fuck?
No. That's all, like, and sometimes you get like pinged for places where you might be close to, but you're not there. Be like, hey, you might be in the plaza with a possible sex shop, and then all of a sudden you just happen to be like, well, I'm just gonna go to the frozen yogurt spot next door, and they're like, hey, do you wanna talk about your experience at this sex shop? And I'm like, I wasn't even at no sex shop. What are you talking about, Google? You're drunk.
I mean, sure.
Delete.
Well, no, I mean,
not this.
Mm-hmm. So, Google, stop blowing up our spots.
Yeah. Or in the case of Parler, Parler keep blowing up their spots.
Yeah, Parler keep doing that, but Google don't.
Google stop.
Google stop, but Parler keep going.
How many of these Parler folks are using Fitbits now? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like Stag of Pentecost from Pacific Rim. You shut up. You keep talking.
Speaking of Parlor, Parlor's back on Epic host EPIK, just so we can be clear here. And the Capital Rioters are being banned from dating apps.
That is indeed an article. That is an article.
It's not even an article at this point. It's like
just a mess.
Well, that's fine because I don't date rapists.
Wow, I don't date insurrectionists.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic terrorists. Nah, I'm good. Who do you think I'm? Meredith Palmer?
Oh.
For those who don't get it, as an office well, see, I had to explain to you because you won't be able to watch it anymore because who's buying Peacock? That's an office reference where Meredith Palmer admitted to having sex with a member of ISIS. Was it or was it? No, it had to have been. It's either Taliban or Al Qaeda. I don't think ISIS was a thing when the episode aired.
ISIS. No,
it was
ISIS.
ISIS.
Wasn't a thing.
I don't know.
I don't think it was ISIS.
Okay, I don't even think she even named an organization. So let's not even say that. She just said terrorists. So for all I know, it could have been a domestic terrorist. Wait, Hulu buying? Wait, what? Hulu was buying Peacock? That's news. Insurrectionistmeet.com.
Oh Lord.
Parler website back online. There was a report that Epic was willing to host Parler, which wouldn't have been surprising as the hosting company is used by many extremist right-wing organizations that have been denied service by mainstream providers. Epic has denied any contact with Parler, but Business Insider notes that the evidence seems clear. A Whois search indicates that Parler is now hosted by Epic. Parler last week registered its domain with the Washington-based hosting provider known for hosting far-right extremist content, though Epic denied in a statement that the two companies have been in touch. Apparently, they don't mention the fact that their servers are being hosted on Russian, or that their sites are being hosted on Russian servers. But, I mean, let's just all go full circle on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Capital rioters are banned from dating apps. In more amusing news, the Washington Post reports that rioters identified from their video footage on the day are being banned from a wide range of dating apps: Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, and Match are all working to remove the insurgents. That is a funny thing to say about dating websites. They are removing the insurgents.
I have feelings about all of this, which y'all have heard me say stuff about the tech companies before that are involved with all of this. So let me just go ahead and put this out here. Imagine being so hateful, so racist, so short-sighted and foolish that you got yourself banned from mediocre dating apps in the first place. I mean, y'all were already half the profiles on there that were like no fats, no blacks, no femmes, no Asians, or anything else, or only fair-skinned people, or like I'm gonna run up here and be racist in real life, but I secretly like want to date people for race play and all this other stuff. Like y'all were those people, so y'all were gross in the first place. But imagine just being out here and being like, consequences. You got rejected. You can't make a profile on Plenty of Fish. Do you have any idea how pathetic an existence it is that you cannot make a profile on this?
Mm-hmm.
James, Broderick, welcome to Consequences. Now you have to sit there with sad and soggy Uncrustables and have to meet people in real life, but you can't because there's a whole panna cotta, and we have a president that's willing to tell you, y'all can't go out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, so one I didn't put on here, obviously it's not tech news, but did y'all hear about that woman who was advertising her real estate business on her live streams as she was storming the Capitol?
Sounds about right. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard of that, but my Lord in heaven, like, bro, that's not it. Like, not like, yeah. So it's like, okay, so now you can also be arrested and lose your business.
Hate to see it.
Hello?
Hate to see it.
No,
Actually,
no,
no, you
you
don't.
love
You
it.
don't. Yeah.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
No,
If
you're
you're
right.
if you're that dumb to plug your business in the commission of a crime, I don't hate to see that. Like I really don't.
Look, this is what I'll do for you. We'll storm the competition. We'll burn it down.
What?
This is your house.
This is your house with a 2.5 bathroom and 3 bedroom colonial in Williamsburg.
Oh my god. So the previous
the level.
administration was very busy before he left. Pardoned hundreds of people, including Kodak Black and Lil Wayne, of all people. But he also wanted to create a national garden of American heroes, and I only include this one because Steve Jobs will be memorialized there.
I am upset about that. I am upset about that. I am so upset about that.
Oh, you be the man. Oh, you be the man who had a dream and an idea, but you know, basically like took all the good things from Steve Wozniak and yeah. Okay.
According to the order signed on Monday, the garden will be built in honor of legends of America's past, and Jobs will
Not
be
today, Satan. No.
No.
and Jobs will be honored with a statue to commemorate his life and work. The order reads, the order reads, quote, each individual has been chosen for embodying the American spirit of daring and defiance, excellence and adventure, courage and confidence, loyalty and love.
Capitalism and stealing, borrowing people's ideas and profiting from them, probably for decades at a time, to the suppression of several other people. I feel is the rest of the subtext that they're missing here. The fuck is this?
The fuck is this?
Astounding the world by the sheer power of their example, each one of them has contributed indispensably to America's noble history, the best chapters of which are still to come, end quote.
Do we want to talk about like what the tech industry has contributed to this? You know, I feel right in the light of everything that social media has done and that tech has done that has contributed to where we are now, the last person that they need to commemorate with a memorial statue as being an American hero is a tech CEO, the last person, literally the last person. I feel like the only way this could have been more of a slap in the face is if they put like Ajit Pai or like Mark Zuckerberg in this fucking garden.
Like not even
what the colonizer hell is this?
yeah. So I think
Here, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, for me, right? This might be an opinion. I will leave people room to disagree if they wish to. But, you know, when I think about the kind of people that should be celebrated as American heroes and things like that, I don't think of a person who's just profit off of person after person, offshored a whole bunch of things, probably disrupted lives for hundreds of people, and then went, you know, during their final years or after their passing, I should take some of the wealth I have accumulated over the course of my lifetime and give y'all like 1%. It's not like I need it anymore anyway, or what have you. The way that like we are like so quick to lionize people like once they're gone and forget about everything that made them what they were while they were here is wild to me. And in America for history, we have the history of a goldfish. We will literally look at the screen of all of American history and then forget about it when we talk to another person. And I can't. I'm so mad at this.
Other names in the list include Emily Dickinson, Walt Disney, Aretha Franklin, Jesse Owens, Miles Davis, Rosa Parks, Nikola Tesla. Jeez, I feel like I'm never pronouncing that name correctly anytime I say it. John Wayne, Martin Luther King Jr., and
Oh
several
no.
former U.S. presidents.
Not John Wayne.
They had the nerve to put this man.
They did not say John Wayne next to Martin Luther King.
Wait, they said John Wayne next to Martin Luther King. I'm mad that they put Steve Jobs in the same realm as Rosa fucking Parks. Oh no. Y'all pray. If you're out here watching and or listening, pray for me.
Come tell you right now, if they even develop land and for that said park, that park is going to be hella dry. Like I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, yeah, just put that over to the side. We're not gonna do that. We're totally not gonna do that. No, the optics are not good, Chief. This is not it, Chief.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
at all.
Like, yeah, I'm with Stalker on that. How about we use that land for affordable housing?
Yeah.
For homeless.
I like that. That's a good look.
A literal garden, a literal like prayer garden to the American fuckery is not it.
Period. Point blank and end of story there.
Just build tiny homes for the homeless. That's what I say.
In movie news, Tom Cruise buys COVID robots to patrol Mission Impossible set. If y'all remember a few weeks ago,
not the way that he popped up in that one video. Tom Cruise can go.
Remember a few weeks ago, Tom Cruise lost his shit because there were a couple people on set were not following COVID protocols. So we decided to buy some robots. Snitch on motherfuckers. A source on the Mission Impossible set told the paper, quote, Tom is so serious about making sure the shoot isn't shut down that he splashed out on the robots as he can't be everywhere to ensure people are behaving themselves. The robots are really sophisticated and rather intimidating. It's like the Terminator, only not as violent, end quote.
Yep. That is. I mean, if Tom Cruise could just automatically pull out some robots, he is definitely the guy to do that. Like,
I mean, again, it's the whole argument for me of if you have to do extreme shit,
yes,
to do anything, is it worth doing the thing?
I don't think.
Nobody's asking for a Mission Impossible movie right now.
No.
What are we doing?
No, because like where we are as far as the whole movie making process is, yes, it can get done. Yes, we can. Yes, we can do. We can make movies. We can do TV productions. I've seen people doing it. It is possible, but I'm just laughing at the fact that you literally having to get robots to get people to act right in a movie set. Like, I mean, fire they ass. Like, literally, all you have to do is just be like, hey, yo, you got 2 times. If you come up with this if I see your ass with your nose hanging over your mask, just get the fuck out. Like, don't even, like, I'm just gonna tap you. I'm just gonna like wave.
Go ahead and clock out for me.
Yeah, go ahead and clock out for me. You off the set, Chief. Do you not know? Like, that's how you do things. You fire them. And when you hire new people, you let them know, say, hey, we fired their ass because of shit that they did. Like, it's like Jurassic Park World.
Like, I need y'all to not, I need y'all to come in here and understand that there's a whole pan-galactic coming on, like, happening outside.
Oh, that's
come
good.
in here.
Oh, that's good. Add that to the list. Yep. Like, bro, you can't, there's a whole Pandora out there. You mean to tell me that y'all, like, you need robots to keep people in line? Bro, just fire people. That's cheap.
Or again, You know what's cheaper still? Just
Yeah.
don't fucking do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't do it.
Right.
Like I had to tell
I
my
don't.
like, she's like, she'll bring some extra shit home. It's like, well, I had a coupon for it. You want to know what's cheaper? If you didn't
Not
buy the
buying
damn thing to begin with,
True.
we don't need it.
We don't need it.
We're all right not having it.
Right. So it's just odd. It's just odd. Like robots. Like I'm like robots. Yeah, well, I'm gonna say it's a whole Pangea out here. Damn, that is good, Arthur. Oh, I'm writing all these down.
The whole
Slow
Pangea.
down.
Okay.
God. It's a whole like I say, like to all my Destiny people, it's a whole panoptes out here. Like, bro. So, like just as like Major says, you can either not have it, or if you're going to have it, make sure people have the mask, make sure people wash their hands, sanitize, and if they don't, fire their ass.
I just don't trust people enough to do it. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. We don't need it.
Yeah,
just move on.
just wait until, because I'm like, this thing's not gonna be forever. So just wait till this thing either dips, or whatever you could do it safer, or make it small, or make it more small scale. But don't be like robots. Yeah. Only you, Tom Cruise. Only you, man.
Also, another thing we talk about, TV movie productions during COVID times. I am very disappointed in Law and Order SVU. The way they handle New York in the middle of a pandemic. I'm going to say pandemic because I don't know all the fancy pan words like everybody else.
Right.
It's bad.
Wait, what you mean you don't know all the fancy pan words? You literally said panopticon.
That was it. That was it, and I had to think about that one. I had to really sit and think about it. And it's all right. Now's my chance. Then I ran out. I have no more.
Yeah, it's a whole light panel out here.
It's a whole Peter Pan outside. There we go.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
A whole Peter Pan outside. But yeah, like SVU, like the way they are trying to depict New York in the middle of all of this is bad.
Yeah.
I am screaming at the TV, not for the horrendous crimes, but for the, oh my God, why are cops just walking into closed spaces with no masks on?
Yeah.
And all of it, like, it's like each episode they'll show one element of a thing that they do in a pandemic. Like one episode, you'll see one cop take a temperature, and that's it. That's the only time you'll ever see them take temperatures, when anybody walks into a building.
Yeah.
Like that one guy, like just that one guy. All right, you're good. You can talk to Benson.
Right.
Also, I'm going to say that Olivia Pope is, the better Olivia in this scenario. Team Pope all the way.
True. Now, I have to give credit to two shows. One is like All Rise, and the other one is Bull. And how they have handled the pandemonium is they've handled it with it like being like, yes, it's still the pandemic. A lot of shit's going off. Everybody's wearing masks now. Everybody is separate. The juror had to be separated by 6 feet, and they have to wear masks. And there's like plexiglass in front of it, and there's plexiglass. They're like, the judge is in like a plexiglass box, whatever. So they do handle it pretty well. And then like people are 6 feet, and everybody's wearing masks. But the thing that kind of like triggers me is when it's like, they'll go into like a room where they have to meet, and they'll have their masks on, and then they'll get around each other, and then they'll just take their masks off. And I'm like, no, don't take your masks off. And they're in like the Uber pool, and they're like, they have like their own driver, because they're cool like that. And they're not wearing masks in the car. And one of them gets in the car in the passenger seat. The other two are in the back. One guy gets in the passenger seat. He gets in the car. He has his mask on. And then he takes his mask off next to the driver. And I'm like, no, don't do it, bro. And I'm just like, it's like they get it, but then they don't get it. But then they get it, but they don't get it. Like, masks are supposed to be worn when you're in close proximity to people. And when you're more or less 6 feet away, you could take them off. I understand if they were like further away and they were outside, maybe in a way, but because they're in close spaces, why they put their masks on? Why are they taking their masks off?
Yeah, like for me, the only other show I've seen where they are dealing in.
Sorry, I saw a question in chat here, and I wanted to address it real quick.
Yes.
How come Mission Impossible is still going? Why is it still a thing? Honestly speaking, all I can say based on what's coming in the next movie is it took them this long to have at least one with a black person before they retire.
Yeah. It's literally like Mission Impossibles do gangbusters, and they make money like Fast and Furious do, but the way the stories have been progressing since the first Mission Impossible, because really the Mission Impossibles peaked after Rogue Nation. So, when they literally strapped Tom Cruise to a freaking airplane and took off with his ass. So I'm thinking, like, at some point, that's when it's like, and my man literally broke his foot in it. So I'm like, yeah, some of that's kind of peaked, but they're like Fast and Furious, where they make buku monies. Nobody asks for them, like Fast and Furious.
I mean,
nobody
whoa.
What?
I asked for them.
What, Fast and Furious?
Yes, I asked Fast and Furious.
Okay.
This is one down.
Okay,
Fast and Furious.
You're the misnomer. You're the outlier.
Look, my vote counts.
Not
a nobody. Okay, you're the last. You're
the last of your kind.
Yeah.
Look, they promised they promised to take me to space. So
it's like, they get to the point where, like, well, it's like, as long as you give, it's like giving a child candy. The child may or may not ask for it, but they'll definitely take the candy. They'll be like, eh. I mean, if you give a child a Reese's, they may not want a Reese's. They might not even ask for a Reese's. But if you give them a Reese's cup, they're gonna eat the Reese's. I'm like, I didn't want it, but I'll eat it. Oh, that was good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So good. Vin Diesel already about to be drifted Dinos. I think we peaked.
Yeah. It's either like they're either gonna go in the past or the future. They're gonna either race around dinosaurs, or they're gonna be racing in the future. Racing in the future.
Look, the Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm,
That's all Arc 2 needs to be. That's all Arc 2 needs to be. The Fast and the Furious.
And you say you can't come up with names.
Look, no, it's pan words. That's the word. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We already came up. Wait, someone else already came up with the Fast and the Furious. That was back from the Game Awards.
Oh, that was that's right. That was
Arc 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Look, I can't claim that. I'm gonna tell you something too.
Yeah.
Speaking of things we can't claim, when you made that joke about TikTok,
I couldn't claim that.
My wife loved that clip.
Yeah, I couldn't take credit for that.
I woke up that morning and I played it, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's funny."
Yeah, I could not take credit for that. I just like
it was
yeah. Chef's kiss.
Microsoft is investigating Windows 10 exploit that could easily corrupt your hard drive.
Oh yeah, we need to fix that.
And it's been an issue. Let's see, how long has it been in here? Let's see.
How long?
I don't even want to comment on it. I'm just so tired.
I'm just like, yo, we need to fix that.
The loophole was discovered by security researcher Johan or Jonas. Oh, wow, yeah, I'm way off base there. Jonas. Oof. Clearly what that name says. Jonas Oof. L. earlier in the week, before being corroborated by Will Dorman, a vulnerability analyst at the CERT Coordination Center. Dorman explained that the exploit has existed within Windows 10 for years already, citing other potential NTFS flaws that Microsoft has yet to address. Now, if you are unaware of what NTFS is, that is the file system that Windows uses.
Yes.
How how your hard drive finds, saves files, keeps track of all that shit, because some's got to keep track of the zeros and ones on your hard drive. So yeah. And apparently, like, I was another side I was looking at. Apparently, there's like a string that you can use that breaks it. So I'm kind of glad this article does not, have that string. And if you do find it, don't use it, please. But yeah, yeah, just be careful out there. Let's see here. Brave, which is the browser that this show is powered on. Brave is the first browser to support the decentralized HTTPS alternative IPFS. In contrast to HTTPS, IPFS doesn't rely on central servers to pull content from, which allows people to evade censorship and server outages. You can think of the protocol as torrent files, computers or nodes living in a peer-to-peer network, with each distributing its copy of the content. If one node fails, another can jump in, and as long as a single node left, content can't be taken down.
Oh, that's nice.
So we're getting closer to that decentralized internet that, the internet was supposed to be. But, capitalism got a hold of it.
Now if we can get like what's this called, like get Title 1 back? Was Title 1 or Title 2?
You talking about broadband as a utility?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about that today at work, and I am hoping we can get there.
Because if we can get broadband as a utility again, then they would stop. And if we can get that, all I want the FCC chair to do two things really. Back to like broadband as a utility, and formally fix that. And I want data caps to die a horrible, miserable death, because data caps are the devil, the big devil. They are Beelzebub, Satan, and Lucifer all wrapped up into one, with some Gozer for flavor.
Apparently, you know what? I see that I actually have an update for Brave, so maybe if I update it, then I can actually use it. But yeah, currently I cannot use IPFS. That was me. I said Chronicles of Rid Arc. Oh no, Passing the Pierce was from a tweet. It was one that I was thinking about that night, but somebody actually tweeted it. Somebody tweeted it.
Someone absolutely tweeted it, because
and I felt vindicated. I felt seen.
Vin Dieselcated?
Yes. I felt Vin Dieselcated.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. I gotta write that down.
What will we do about fiber? What do you mean, like, what will we do about fiber?
Well, I mean, I guess it's the same, it's probably the same age-old question of, like, people who live in rural areas that fiber doesn't go to. And I'm like, Jesus be a policy of infrastructure.
I says the country, the rural areas don't need fiber. The rural areas need internet. That's what they need. Let's get to broadband in the backwoods first.
Listen, if you're gonna put broadband in the backwoods, you might as well take it the whole way over there.
Right. That's the whole thing we were trying to say. Like, it's mostly where I live. It's either some places have like broadband, some forms of broadband, and then some areas have like SattleNet, like GenNet, like basically like satellite. Yeah, HughesNet. Yeah, basically it's like satellite internet, which is great in theory, unless it rains. And if it rains, you're screwed. Because if you ever had DirecTV or Dish Network, then you all right? Okay. So if you ever had like Dish Network and DirecTV, good luck when it rains, because you ain't from to watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, there's like, I remember when I had cable and they would advertise your mic's muted, or it actually might have. Oh, we're good?
We shouldn't be. No, we should be good.
Okay. I was going to say, look, we were having that conversation earlier. It's like, don't tell me to kick the bucket.
Right.
Not that one relative who's like, my knee hurts, so I know our internet's not gonna work today.
Right. Yeah. Internet ain't supposed to work like that. It's not supposed to be like, my knee's tingling. Well, better not
Pull out
what
the
better not watch the
DVDs.
episode of Queen's Gambit. Yep, time to break out the DVDs. That's pretty much what happened. Like when like DirecTV went out, I remember when we had DirecTV and that went out, it was like, well, time to watch stuff on the DVR because you know that we ain't gonna have TV after we ain't gonna have TV for a while.
They could not sell me on satellite TV. Like every time when DirecTV would advertise like on Spectrum when I had cable, look at how many channels you like. But you're a satellite, and if a cloud shows up, I'm losing my. No, I'm okay. I'm all right. I hate Spectrum too, but
yep.
What? Issa, nobody's talking to you right now. Thank you.
Issa, I love you, but not now. Like,
what can you do? I told you to stop listening to me.
What I love about this new Nest is like I literally can like it'll start talking to me and then all of a sudden I'll be like I could just like tap it and it like shuts up. Be like, hey Google, what's the PS4 like? And then do that.
But see, mine is all the way over there.
See, that's why it's a good set.
Normally it's not in the same room as me. But, I put on the screen protector, which, somebody had to come at me for when I noticed that, my screen had a blemish the other day.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough did. Came for you.
Look,
I'm
gonna tell you something.
Oh, hell no.
Putting that screen protector on, the blemish is gone. I don't know how the fuck that worked.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not there anymore. But I know as soon as I take that damn screen protector off, it's gonna be right back. And I'm gonna forget that all this happened. It's like, how the fuck did that happen?
Oh, I'll remind you. Cause somebody.
Oh my god, I was upset. I was really happy about that MKBHD skin. It was like, ooh, that does not look good.
All right, relax and rest, Anka.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Rest up, Anka. Love you.
Speaking of multiple communication platforms, and actually, no, we were not talking about any of this. Beeper, from the makers of Pebble, or from the founder of Pebble, aims to bring all of your chat clients into one place. But this one is special because they are promising iMessages on Android.
I'm gonna tell you, as somebody who used a lot of Pigeon in his like teen and college years, I stand for this.
Pigeon or Trillion, depending on how far back we want to go with that.
Yeah, haven't we had this conversation before?
Oh yeah, we totally have had this.
When we were trying to see how,
but in a different context, we were just over here talking about dating ourselves.
Yeah, there you
go. We had this conversation, and I've had this conversation with others. We have talked. I have been like, those were the days. I was like, so like, man, just being able to talk to somebody and they actually talk to you back. Oh my god, yes.
So I was going to skip this one because I wasn't sure how big it was going to be until multiple Apple related websites were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, this one's from 9 to 5 Google, but like 9 to 5 Mac was covering it. Mac Rumors, all of them. Created by founder of Pebble Smartwatches, Eric Mijikovsky. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Beeper costs $10 a month and does one job. It acts as a central hub for almost every major messaging app that most people use. That includes Telegram, WhatsApp, SMS, Discord, Slack, Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts, Skype, Signal, IRC.
Hold on.
Hold up.
Google what?
Hangouts. I thought we stopped on IRC.
Nah, I'm like, actually, here's the fun thing. I'm viewing chat through IRC because, fun fact, you can use an IRC client to connect to Twitch chat on any channel you're on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yep.
yeah.
Twitch. Yeah. If you didn't know, Twitch chat is just an IRC chat.
Yep.
Twitter DMs, and even Apple iMessages.
Y'all really like? Are we that thirsty for the blue box? I just do we need them? Y'all just text people. Just text people.
Mm-hmm.
Beeper works on all major platforms too: Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android.
Mm-hmm.
Messages are connected to the app using Matrix, an open source federated messaging protocol that acts as a bridge for each messaging client.
Mm-hmm.
So they go on to explain how iMessages works. Quote, this was a tough one to figure out. Beeper has two ways of enabling Android, Windows, and Linux users to use iMessage. We send each user a jailbroken iPhone with the Beeper app installed, which bridges to iMessage. Or if they have a Mac that is always connected to the internet, they can install the Beeper Mac app, which acts as a bridge. This is not a joke. It really works. End quote. They are, and it's actually a serious consideration because it costs $10 a month. They are actually looking into sending just like defunct iPhones that are just like defunct jailbroken iPhones to people who are subscribed if they don't have a Mac that stays constantly connected to get iMessages to work on other devices. Because you can't just install it on your iPhone and get it that way. It has to be jailbroken. So they're at a point where it's like, we will give you a jailbroken old ass iPhone just to run it as the iMessage server. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had a Mac Mini here that's always online to actually test this shit out, I would have used. I actually have a it's not jailbroken, but I could just jailbreak an old iPhone 6 I've got back here. And try this shit out. I'm like,
worth a try.
I found out a little bit too late in the day to get it set up, but I really want to try this now.
I mean, that's definitely a weekend project.
That is.
Yep.
That is definitely a weekend project. So yeah, $10 a month, and if you would like to, get iMessages on an Android device, along with, again, Skype, Twitter DMs, Discord, Slack, IRC, all that shit. I mean, there you go. There's an app for that.
There's an app for that.
And the last bit of tech, there is one more. This was the last piece until Sin bought in more tech news before we started. Have y'all seen these shoes? Or is it a PC? I am not entirely sure. Like, nobody's been able to kind of answer the question as to whether or not this is a shoe or a PC.
It's like when hype beasts. It's like when shoe hype beasts love gaming as well as shoes.
No, these people are trying to bring back Jet Set Radio Future. That's what this is.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to say that this is I don't know if it's a computer. I can almost confidently say that it's not a shoe. Because you're gonna cut your foot up trying to put your foot in there.
Yeah, it's a mod. I love the idea and the concept of it, but I'm like, I don't think that's. Yeah, I think that might be at most it's a concept, proof of concept, and it's a news story. They basically made something that's like, oh look how fly this shit is, and it's. I mean,
it was a light news day in gaming, so.
Yeah, it's like it's nice. Like I've seen them, and I'm like, oh that's cool, but it's like,
And last but not least in tech news, for those who have played Cyberpunk 2077, this news article looks way too familiar. It should look way too familiar. Microsoft files patent to create chatbots that imitate dead people.
I don't want to see my dad in the Matrix. No, thank you.
No, just why?
Yeah, see, this is not what we finna do. No.
You know what? Like how we have wisdom in the form of media, and media is meant to tell these stories as a warning before we get to these points in time. So I'm just gonna take the time to address that real quick.
Yes.
You know, I'm pretty sure that there's like a whole set of movies that are just like, I know that y'all can, but I want y'all to consider that maybe you should not.
Oh, that's Dr. Ian Malcolm right there. It's like, just because you thought you could doesn't mean you should. Yeah.
Have you thought about considering no? Has that option occurred to you? Because maybe you should not do the thing that you were doing. Oh, yeah. My God!
I don't want this to be like a Detroit Become Human type situation, because this really feels like this is how you get Skynet, and you want Skynet, this is how you get Skynet. Like, you know, like, no, nah, fam, I don't want this. Like, I don't want this.
Microsoft is taking the concept a step further by suggesting that a 2D or 3D model of a specific person could potentially be created using images and depth information or video data of an individual in order to build a chatbot that has the same characteristics and behavior based on the digital output of a specific person. Yeah, this is some fucking Arasaka bullshit. Like, I'm okay. Yeah, no, thank you, Microsoft. You're doing great.
No, you're doing too much. Stop it.
You said you were doing great. Now you've crossed the line.
Have any of y'all ever watched the show Red Dwarf?
No.
Okay. Basically, it's like they have holograms in there.
Isn't it like the comedy show?
Yeah, it's a British comedy.
Okay, I've seen episodes of it. I know what you're talking about.
It's set in space, and there is they have what they call holograms, and they basically are like people with like a giant H on their forehead, like to specify hologram. And this is, I don't want that. Like, I don't want my dead coworker coming back to life and being like nagging the shit out of me. Like, no, like, that's how you. I don't want Lister. No.
All right. Moving on to gaming. Of course, we talked about, hey, Resident Evil 8 Village is coming out in May. There's a PS5 demo out right now. There will be a demo for all other platforms in the spring. There's a multiplayer game they're putting out. They talked about, movies, TV shows, all this bullshit. It's 25th anniversary of Resident Evil, so all right, hooray.
Yeah.
But the one big gaming story we have this week, Dead by Daylight devs announced colorblind mode amid controversy.
See, I like this.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
So you said amid controversy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was thinking like maybe they're listening to their people, and you're like, no.
Okay, no. So here's what happened. Here's the tea. Here's the situation.
Hold on. I'm just
gonna go ahead.
While you explain, I'm gonna see if I
can
can get the audio piped into the stream.
I was over here just floating around the internet and saw a message from Steve Spawn, from Able Gamers. Like for who does like all the advocacy for disabled folks in gaming spaces. And so, at least that's what he's known for. So I'm sitting here and I see this clip where one of the devs for Dead by Daylight is talking, and basically the dialogue, which Major is going to figure out how to run it a little bit. Is like, so yeah, okay, about the whole colorblind mode thing. We get it. We know it's a thing that you want to have in your game or whatever, but bugging us about it is not helping. And honestly, I'm bored of listening to y'all ask for it. Y'all been asking for it for years. We know that it's not a small grouping of people who need it. We get it. All right, whatever. We'll get to it when we get to it. I'm gonna let, mind you, that is the nice version of what they said. I'm gonna let Linux run that audio real quick.
Okay, give me, turn the music down a little bit so we can make sure we can hear it.
Turn it up a bit.
It's boring. It's boring to continue to talk about it. We know it's a thing people have asked for. It's not a small number, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Van said he was bored of listening to it. And so, of course, as the internet does, it blew up so much that the company finally said, well, this isn't the way that we wanted to express this, but we have been working on it. We wanted to do it correctly. So we've just been like quietly working on it, haven't announced the like release date until we were sure that we had all the pieces in place. Now, there are a couple of things going on here. First thing, y'all, if y'all are working on the colorblind mode and stuff like that, let people know that you're working on it and where you are.
Because
like the thing
at that
is,
point, they wouldn't complain.
Yeah, just say.
I'm sorry, they wouldn't. Sorry, complain is a bad word. They wouldn't be expressing, "Hey, we would like this." If you tell them that it's coming, you know, people will probably sit and wait for it.
No, because like people like, okay, well, here's the thing too. It wasn't like they just said, hey, we just wanted to let you know that this was coming. Sorry about the way that it was communicated. They hit y'all with the screenshot to show you exactly what comparisons they were making, what kind of color blindness they were accounting for. And it's just like, y'all didn't, like, y'all let people in the dark for how long behind this when you could have just told them, hey, we're working on it. We're not sure when we're going to be able to release it because there's still some stuff we're testing and all that other stuff. So please be patient with us. But here's what we've done so far. Here's where we're at and we're trying to figure out. Like the thing that they said today should have been said like ages ago. That's the first thing. The second thing is apparently don't put your devs on screen because this person, whoever it was, literally just said on, you know, like in the public, in an age where people will download the entire thing, screenshot it, chop and screw it,
clip it. We
are bored. Like I'm bored of hearing the question. I honestly am. Stop asking. We'll work on it when we get the time to work on it.
Right. That was a dismissal. You know, that was you saying, yeah, whenever it comes whenever it comes. That says to the person, guess what? It's not coming. It's not coming when you want it. It's not coming. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Stop doing it. Now, if you were working on it in secret, then you could have said like, we'll have more news on that when it comes, or we will announce something about, we have something, we're working on something. We'll announce that at a later date. That says to people, we are working on something.
We hear you.
Yeah, we hear you. We understand what we're saying, but we can't officially say anything on it until we have something concrete to show to y'all. But what that says is you're boring. We'll get to it when we get to it. That's a dismissal, and people do not respond well with absolute dismissal. When I was saying like most of the time, a lot of people would feel better if you just tell them you're working on it and say like, hey, we're working on it. Because most of the times people are less pissed off when you're like,
well, I mean, there's not working on it. Behind what you just said, there's a whole study to it. The reason why they do things the way that they do is that page of the study that says people are this much time more likely to wait for things or to maintain patience for things if you inform them that the thing that they wanted was being worked on. This is why you get that really calm voice when you're on hold forever that says, hey, we appreciate your call. We're kind of busy at the moment, but we promise that things are working through things. We're in a heavy queue at the moment. Please enjoy this music tools or other services that you might be interested in while you wait. The reason why they do all of that on the phone is because they literally study the amount of time that people are willing to just wait if you tell them, we hear you, we're working on it.
Right.
Even if you don't give them anything.
Right. This coming, like this should be clear when we had from a company who I had said, and I came to understanding that when they just said, hey, we're going to get you, the game is going to come out when the game comes out. We are not going to tell you a date. The game is going to come out when it comes out. And we're just going to show you what some of the stuff that we got planned, but we're not going to tell you when it's going to come out because it's not ready yet, and it's going to come out when it comes to it. This is AAA studio for a game title that we're all familiar with that came out recently that they said that they were going to do. And people were like, oh, okay, cool. Then they came out with the whole blitzkrieg of live stream, walkthrough, live stream, walkthrough. And it's just like groundswell of hype to the point where, the hype was, found out the hype was unwarranted. And, didn't really fit the purpose. Now that game, the game is the game, and now the game is half off a month in release. But now we're not going to talk about that game. But I say that to say this. You have to, if you are any type of company with any type of product that has any type of updates or whatever, you have to let people know, and let people know respectfully, and let them know, hey, it's going to be a while. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to, because people would be less mad when you tell them stuff, when you inform them, as opposed when you don't inform them and just expect them to wait anyway. Like, oh, it'll come when it comes. Not when you're an indie studio and people can play other games.
So, I mean, and that's the other thing too. So there's a part that I feel for the devs here, and I'll get to that part in a second. But it's also the whole, actually, I'll just get to it now. They're not a AAA studio, right? They don't have the people for that, the funding for that, the money for that. And I get that part of things. I also get that people are very on 1 and sometimes on 3 and 4 about showing up in people's mentions, right? About things that they don't have any control over, and being like, you're a dev, you should do something. And it's kind of like, we have a severe overestimation of the power that a single or even a group of developers have in games. They don't the people who are writing the code and testing things don't necessarily get the amount of power that we think they do in what comes out, right? So that was the case of things like Cyberpunk, where people were just like, I can't believe the devs did this. And it's like, y'all can't be mad at the devs. The devs didn't tell them to send this stuff out the door. Like, there were other people who made that decision. The devs probably were just like, yo, this is still an issue and I'm not sure we should do this. And people went, okay, but we're going to. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and keep that clock ticking and keep those fingers moving, right? So humanity, respect to the fact that people are human and are in circumstances that we don't quite understand. I want to give that space to things when it comes to development stuff. But also, first thing, disabled people play games. I'm like, we're in 2021. Y'all have got to stop doing this thing where you do not put features in here that people are going to be asking for. Because people who are not straight and non-white and not able-bodied, among other things, are playing your games and want to. It's like, that was the whole thing for me. Like, literally, people were like, we really want you to fix this. Not because, we felt like coming over here and bitching about things, but because I want to play your game, but I can't see things. Imagine being dismissive to a person who is expressing genuine interest and excitement and wanting to play your game.
That confounds me as somebody's like with a toe in capitalism and another toe in socialism. It's like from the capitalist side, it's like y'all want to make money, right? Here's people willing to hand you money, but y'all treat them like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, it's like everything else aside that I feel about this. Yo, people want to give you money to play your game, but you don't want to let them because you're being dismissive with things like this. Because people are going to, just like it took this whole event for the company to go, well, here's what we've been working on. That word has been flying around for hours. How many people aren't going to play your game now because of this?
Yeah.
Potential customers, potential players in
And
this
also,
game.
and this is the thing, like, how many, like, and it's also things like, it's not like this was a new request. Apparently, this had been like years in asking at this point. By their admission on this recording, they've been asking for years, and it wasn't a small amount of people. People have fed them the facts and figures and numbers that they needed to know to justify taking the time to prioritize that project. And they were just like, I mean,
yeah.
And if you don't have if you're just like, on the one hand, I want to work on these things, but we were asked to prioritize other things. Fine, say that. Let us know that, right? And then we'll be like, okay, well, how can we help? Probably, but you don't. But like, straight up dismissing people when they're asking you about functions that League of Legends has. I hate Riot Games. League of Legends has a colorblind mode.
Yes.
But what gets me too about this is
Minecraft has subtitles for animal noises and walking through the grass. Like, oh my fucking god.
What gets me with this is like the developer was like, hey, if you keep pestering us, we won't do it. But it seemed like they've been doing it. So like, how much does this motherfucker know to begin with? What do you work on to where you didn't know this was even a thing? Or actually, now that I think about it, maybe nothing was there.
Yeah, I looked up a list of games that have colorblind support, and Age of Empires 2, the definitive edition, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, most of the Battlefields, Black Desert Online, a lot of the Call of Duties have that. Cuphead has it. Let's see, Dirt 5 has it. The game that we just mentioned, Cyberpunk 2077, the shit show that has colorblind. That has a colorblind mode. Let's see.
Well, you said Age of Empires 2. How many years ago was that?
But that's the definitive edition.
That's the definitive
let's put that into perspective. Like the list, he seems like he's reading from a lot of the games he said. There are recent games.
Yeah, Gears. But I'm saying like there are games that have colorblind mode in them, and that's what I'm saying. Like they have been developed, and they have this mode is developed in games, and there are a small section of gamers that have color blindness.
Yeah.
And so they should be recommended too. So if companies are basically saying like, hey, yo, we have instituted modes that allow you to be able to play the game in a way where you can be able to still have enjoyment in it because you have a disability, I think that's like, yeah. But for a company to say, hey, we're not gonna, hey, we hear that, we're bored by it, stop asking, and then in one breath, and then once the hammer falls, then it's like, oh, actually, we do have that, and we're working on that now. It's kind of like, just as you said, just what Major says, like, how much did this guy know? How little did this guy know? And what's his role in the company, as opposed to You know,
And
for him to not know that, and for him to respond in that way of like just absolute callous.
there are layers of questions I have on a personal level about soft skills and all of that other stuff, and I am going to leave those alone because I'm not trying to get us in trouble with all of that stuff. But what I will keep it to is it has been like we've been in games for like a hot minute now. The idea of modes of color, the idea of subtitles at adjustable sizes, the idea of so many other things is just normal to media. None of this is new. We have got to, like, for the love of God, we have really got to stop treating our, like, disabled gamer audience like an afterthought all the damn time. Like, just release the game with subtitles, or don't release the game until you have subtitles.
Yeah.
Same thing with your colorblindness stuff. Like, when you roll this stuff out with the mode so that people can enjoy them. Period. Also, because I also have to check Cyberpunk 2020, like 2077, good God. Cyberpunk 2077 for
Cyberpunk 2020 though, just so you know.
It's a tabletop game, I think.
Yeah, it's a tabletop game, yeah.
It's the also, hey, maybe try not releasing games with features and scenes and scenarios, especially ones that people can't avoid that induce seizures. But
Yes.
Yo, learn how to think about the audience of people that y'all have out there.
Well,
and
okay, hold on. Before we go any further into that one, they did fix that though.
At least they did. So
I mean, because like again, like not everybody suffers from epilepsy. It's just like, again, it's the same thing. Like not everybody suffers from colorblindness, but at least when somebody did, they wrote an article about it. Like immediately of all the shit that CDPR did and didn't do with Cyberpunk, they did immediately go in and fix that problem.
Like, I mean, I give them the fact that they faced that problem. It's also just like, did no one think like, hey, you're having a thing with a whole flashing scene? Because that was another thing.
That goes back to the QA thing that, they said that they, that's the reason why the game is broken on console. So
most of the time, whenever I say, hey, did anybody think about this? I usually don't mean developers because, we know.
Not developers, not production managers. Yeah, not production managers, no.
It's just one of those things like, I've got to stop letting things roll out the door and like wrecking people. I found out that there's a whole character on Dead by Daylight that people can't even play with because they induce seizures when they're on screen.
Yeah, especially when QA's like, yo, this broke. And they're like, that's fine.
That's the thing of like, I'm pretty sure the seizure thing would have been caught if, if it went through proper QA.
Right.
But we know that story now, so.
And like I say, well, here's the wild part. They put it in the EULA. Nobody reads the EULA. Like.
Oh, no, not the EULA.
Yeah, they put it in the EULA to kind of indemnify people. But then it was like, when people were like, this is the problem. Here's scenes. Then it was like, oh yeah, we're fixing it. We're definitely fixing it. We're fixing it. Like once articles pop up, and you should never wait till the articles pop up. When Jason Schreier is telling you about your shit, that's when it's too late, bro. Like, bro.
That's the other part about this whole scenario that bothers me is knowing that it's the knowing. Like for me, I feel like it is just basically a fact that if it hadn't been for people like calling that out in a really public way, and drawing attention to the fact that this is how the question was responded to by a large enough audience, it wouldn't have been addressed. It would have gone entirely unaddressed.
Oh yeah.
Or unannounced or anything else. And it's kind of like, y'all, the game is changing, and like whether y'all want to deal with them or not because you feel like they're social justice warriors who complain about everything, they're playing all your games now and they have all the money. You better run us this respect that we're due and think about these things like accessibility options and hair textures.
Oh no.
We will come for your entire job in the CEO desk too. Fuck around if you want to.
All right. In streaming news, Trump's gone for good. It's gone for good.
And all it took was a riot.
Apparently there was also something going on with a Twitch town hall or something today. So there may have been a tweet or two I saw, but I don't know.
Well, they recently put out a thing about new or something that they said like, hey, the stuff that we said at the town hall are things that we're going to start enforcing and all of this.
So no, I saw Critical Bard and Pleasantly Twisted talking about that earlier, but I was working at the time, so I wasn't able to really follow through with that. But this is Eurogamer here. They're saying it seems Twitch intends to initiate wider changes on the platform, however, and will be making further changes to its policies to clamp down on violent rhetoric. Quote, Twitch's clear rules that prohibit hateful conduct, harassment, or incitement of violence on our service, and we consider off-service events when making enforcement decisions. However, the events of the past weeks have highlighted a gap with respect to rhetoric that encourages violence regardless of whether or not it was directly streamed on Twitch. We will be updating our policies as a result of our consideration of this situation. Let's in quote. Twitch, the article goes on to say, Twitch has already announced some changes to its harassment policy that come into effect tomorrow. The new policy bans the use of Confederate flags, encouraging doxing, misgendering people, and sending links to unsolicited nudes. The policy will only affect videos uploaded from the 22nd of January onward. However, so older videos will not be impacted. Twitch's famous PogChamp emote, meanwhile, was recently pulled and replaced following controversial remarks by streamer Ryan Gutex Gutierrez, the face of the emote. So yeah.
Let me see. What was that last one?
Oh, just the Gutex thing.
Oh, like have we talked about, spoken about, and or addressed that whole thing about how they've decided to be entirely anonymous about it now?
Anonymous about
who the PogChamp is of the day now.
No, what's going on with that?
Well, they used to tell you who the person was per day.
Oh.
And they've stopped doing that now because the moment that they put anybody marginalized over there, these people would get like hate mail and doxing and death threats and all this other extra stuff. So now they have like decided to just do who's that Pokemon, except that it's PogChamps now.
Okay. Nah, I didn't. I not like I was paying much attention to it, but I know when the last person I heard who was PogChamp was Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me, who went on a. I'm sorry.
I'm just sitting here. These people like out here just again sitting at home because I guess they're no longer. They are just like, well, we can't go outside and act a fool, otherwise we might be able to fly back home. So they're out here in this whole pancetta acting a fool.
I mean, let's be honest. Anybody on Twitch was never going outside to begin with, so.
No.
I mean, we're
outside.
Nah. In hardware software update news, I know we talked about Nvidia drivers being updated for security reasons last week, but if you are one of the few people who own a VR headset and are having issues with SteamVR, there is a hotfix GPU driver for you. I wouldn't know if it works for me. I don't have that many SteamVR games, so maybe I should just take it anyway just to be safe. In deals, of course, this is the Game Pass section of the show. If you do not have Game Pass, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
You need to get Game Pass.
Just get Game Pass.
Get Game Pass.
This week on Game Pass, Control joins the PC Game Pass group. The Medium and a bunch of Yakuzas arrive on Game Pass for PC this month as well. I did not know the Medium was coming out this month. I thought that was a March title. I know it got bumped back because of Cyberpunk, but apparently nope, the Medium is coming out January 28th.
Yeah.
And for nothing more than the stories, get the Yakuzas. They're fantastic. They're fantastic games.
Yakuzas.
So we got a big list here, or I would say it's a big list, but not really. Today, Control and Desperados 3. Today, Control, Desperados 3, and Donut County are available. The 26th, Cyber Shadow. And on the 28th, The Medium, Yakuza 3 Remastered, Yakuza 4 Remastered, and Yakuza 5 Remastered. And leaving the service on the 29th are Death's Gambit, Final Fantasy 15 Fishing Sim World Pro Tour, Gris, Indivisible, Reigns, Game of Thrones, and Sea Salt.
Okay. Not gonna miss those.
I have not played Grease. I should play Grease.
Yeah. You said Final Fantasy 15?
Final Fantasy 15 is leaving.
Okay. Well,
this is Game Pass for PC.
Yeah, I feel like if you wanted to play Final Fantasy 15 that bad on PC, you probably would have bought it already.
If I can beat Final Fantasy 15, you can too.
Yeah.
It's a short Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's very, very linear for what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be more linear than 13.
I mean, 13 was linear up until a certain point, but then again, my college mind may not have wrapped around how linear that was. But once I got the pulse, I was like, yeah, this is way too open, and I quit.
Yeah,
I was great. I was happy that 13 was linear at the beginning. It's like, finally, focus. I can focus on this shit. Last but not least, Galactic Civilizations 3 is free this week in the Epic Game Store. And Dandara Trials of Fear Edition will be free next week, and of course, we'll remind you.
We will.
I played Dandara. It's pretty fun, but yeah, I got too tired of the puzzly nature of it. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. So yeah, that's it. We made it through another week. We did it.
You know what's funny? This is one of our like shorter shows. Like,
yeah, like I mean, granted, we filled it out with some politics at the beginning. You know, we still expounded a couple of topics, but yeah, we're actually just over 2 hours this time.
Wow, because we hit like a smooth 3-4, like 3 easy, like 3 change easy.
Y'all remember the times.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yep, that's gonna do it this week. Kev.
Yes, sir.
What you got going on this week, buddy?
Oh, a lot of Pokemon, a lot of Ooblets. Man, Pokemon has firm and a fix taken over me. It's been a long time since I've really played like a mainline core Pokemon game. Like, and it feels good. I definitely understand what people I definitely understand why people feel mad about the overall Pokemon, Sword and Shield experience, because it is very Pokemon-y. But I think with the whole wild area, it was like, oh, look, something new, and that is new, and that's something different. But in certain spots, it's not really a pretty game. It is a Pokemon game on Switch, and it feels like a Pokemon game on Switch. But I'm having a good time with it, and I'm enjoying it.
To be fair, that's kind of what I've wanted. It's realizing, like coming from those old games where it was like, you you're looking top down and just going
Right.
like, man, I really would like to see what this would look like in a modern setting. Like if I could play this
Right.
on a GameCube, Wii U, or whatever, to finally get it on the Switch. Like, okay, I now have this on a console that makes sense, and you get the 3D polygonal. This is how I actually like to play Pokemon, and I was very happy with what we got. Like it was like when getting like the Pokemon Let's Go or whatever. It was like, all right, okay, I see where y'all going. I see where you're going with it. It's great to have the first gen Pokemon redone in this way. I see the vision. Now actually make me a Pokemon game.
Right.
With this. And they did. And it's like, thank you. That's all I've wanted. Now, if I play a Pokemon game ever again, it'll be a while.
Right.
Because I wanted to play a Pokemon game that looked like any other JRPG.
Yes.
I got it. All right. Satisfied. I'm moving on.
Yeah, I'm definitely good with that. And I'm also I think I also heard like near the end of the year they're gonna be coming out with Pokemon a Diamond and Pearl remake, because sometimes they usually do like a mainline and then a remake, and then a mainline and then a remake. So they'll do like Oris happened, and then sometimes they'll do like a sequel series on a generation. And I played one of the remakes of like not a remake. Yeah, it was a remake of like Heart Gold and Soul Silver on DS, and loved it. Didn't get a chance to play Oris on the 3DS, but that was one of my mainline favorites. So they are talking about bringing like Gen 3? No, not Gen 3. Gen 4. Not Sinnoh, but fuck, what was that? What was the fourth one? It'll come to me. So they'll probably come up with that, and I'll probably buy that day one. Because if it's more of this, but a little bit flexed, I would be happy. I will be happy with that. But yeah, so I've been playing that and a lot of Ooblets, which is hipster Pokemon, and enjoying that. Definitely gonna have to get back to Dragon Quest 11S, because that is fun, and that is also free on Game Pass. And if you've not played that, definitely go play that, because that's free on Game Pass. The Definitive Edition. Had a lot of fun with it. Weird accents in that game, but still fun. Yeah. And looking forward to Bravely Default 2 and Monster Hunter Rise. So yeah, that's it for me.
Sin.
What are we doing this week?
What are we doing this week?
We finally started a round of tabletop games, and yesterday was our first session. So that's going to be a bi-weekly thing. I also have our first possible session of Ether this week, so that is exciting. There's basically, hey, I'm going to be involved in more streams where we play tabletop games, but they're going to be in systems that I haven't necessarily played before, and so I'm learning about those, and that's going to be fun. And other than that, I'm looking at finally digging through the rest of this RPG backlog that I have. I want to finish Final Fantasy X and Tales of Symphonia, and see about starting up Octopath Traveler, and then maybe round that out with a bit of Ni no Kuni, because listen, Ni no Kuni is really cute. Really cute. It is Studio Ghibli as a video game.
Oh yeah, big much.
It's so Studio Ghibli, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, I have the first two games. I have the first two games, and I put a good dent in the first. Well, I had it on PS3. Then I bought it again for PS4, because I don't know why I bought it for PS4. So I should have just bought it for PC. Because if I bought it for PC, I would have played it, because it'd have been like, hello. It'd have been in my Steam every time I've been like, hello. So now I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna have to buy it on Steam, and play it on Steam, because it just as Sin said, it is joy and life and love, and the visuals look great. It's this wonderful cell shaded Kind of also reminds me of Dark Cloud 2 from the PlayStation 2, and of course the Dragon Quest games, because yeah, really nice.
I mean, seriously, it's just a beautiful and very heartwarming game. Like the game is just it's so whimsical and full of life, and I love it.
And Drippy is like a nut. Is a nut. That's like the dub taking various liberties. Be like, oh, look at that man, it's coming in, man. They're drip tidy, and I'm like, you see this little like tiny little like sprite with a lantern pierced it through his nose. You'd never think Cockney accent, like never. Sometimes it's like, okay, Drip, okay, Drippy. I'm gonna need you to tone that down a little bit.
Stalker has brought to our attention that you know, you have a coffee. I don't believe you mentioned that.
I mean, I have something that I plan on making after this call, probably.
Oh.
I have been granted a time extension, and I did not have to address it. So it is going to be left unaddressed.
Okay.
Okay, so like a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of like the whole thing with Twitch, as you know, is like, you get a feeling, you get excited when you get like that little like jingle of whatever that comes through PayPal. Well, one month I made a little bit more than usual. I used that money to get this whole monitor, this extra monitor and this monitor stand. And like they were just like, we would like to do that more often, but we can't do that because you don't have a donate button. And I'm like, don't on purpose. They're just like, okay, listen, you fix that and we're coming to your house. So I'm working on it now. Because the people have demands.
Yep. I literally I can tell you right now, I have learned that in like the last like 3 months, where it's like people are like, look, I want to give you my money, but you need to have the things in place so I can do that. And so I let people I have done the Cash App. Like I've done the Cash App. I have the Patreon. I have the coffee. And people are like, okay, here's $30. Like, boom. Because you have that, I'm able to give you that. And shout out to Tanya, Cypher of Terror, who literally was like, hey, all you so-called people out here, you need to go ahead and support these Black creators. So Black creators, drop your links, your coffee links, your PayPal, your Venmos, and I did, and people have blessed me with $65. Now, was I expecting that $65? No, I wasn't expecting 65 cents, and yet $65 was dropped for people from the actual total strangers. I love them. Especially when I was like fundraising for a green screen, and now I'm like halfway through. So yes, hold
on. Where do we donate to the green screen though? Where's that fund at?
Oh no. I have a coffee link. I'll drop that in the DM.
So don't make me go look up your Twitch and your Twitters. I'll find it.
Oh jeez.
I'm like the Liam Neeson of the internet. I have a particular set of skills. I will find it.
Yeah.
I will donate.
Yeah, it's kind of stalled. It's kind of stalled because the whole like the whole fry pan. Yeah, everything has been like oh, they're buying up all the green screens, and they're how much now? Like literally like $160 green screen is like $235. I'm like, what the fuck? On Amazon. And I'm like, I'm not finna do that to myself. So I'm just gonna
for me, if it wasn't for the dream of trying to do something with my backgrounds and wanting, like, having the vision of getting a DSLR to do the proper depth of field shit. Yeah, this desk would have been turned up against a wall, and my green sheet will be thumbtacked to it like it used to be. Like, right. Y'all remember what it used to look like, what this place used to look like at the old house. Like there was
Right.
no green screen. There was just a green sheet I bought from Joann's Fabrics and got all the weird looks from the old ass Karens.
Yep.
Thinking I was making a T-shirt. It's like, no, I'm making a green screen. And they looked at me and said, like what the weather people use to put in the weather. I'm making that. And I was like,
Are you a weatherman?
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing over here. As a matter of fact, I still have that green sheet in this closet next to me. I saw it the other day. I was like, oh yeah.
No. So yeah. I have learned a long time to shut up and let people love me. And yeah. Especially we've amassed so much love and lovable people that have like said, hey yo, I want to give you copious amounts of money because I love you and I love what you do, and I'm going to let them do that. So you know.
Cool. Is that it, son?
That's it for now. I feel like every time I come back here, I'm gonna have like extras to add because this year is on one.
I mean, hey,
in good ways sometimes.
that's what I said. Look, this is that time to talk about all this good shit.
Like having to be inside because of this whole pancake hasn't been the worst thing.
That's a good one.
That is. For me, I'm again. I typed it into our
I'm still out here that's like wild enough of the fact that I have a second screen.
Look, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Yes, as somebody who has had like
I haven't had a second screen for anything in a year.
Wow.
I couldn't live my life like that, dog.
Same. I do not know how to feel about that.
Couldn't do that.
Could not be me.
No, you're just like, I am actually in anguish for you. I am in pain. I am in physical pain.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Oh, we need to fix that. We need to fix that.
For me, I've been sitting there going through Hades, and yes, I can see it. I can see it. That game is actually really good. I enjoy sitting down and playing it. I've not been able to play it for the past couple of days, so I've been busy doing other things, but hoping to get back and make it another weekend of that. It's been a while since I've sat around and actually played my Switch until the battery died. Or let alone just take it out of its dock. As I was saying earlier too, I put this in the Discord DM, and it seems so weird. Every time I say it, it seems so weird that I am on a second playthrough of Cyberpunk. Because I do not, like, let alone the fact that I'm playing Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, you hate to get to the whole 8 megabyte, save size and not be able to play the game anymore.
I don't craft, so I am totally spared of that issue. Given the fact that, yes, I am playing Cyberpunk, but I do not play games immediately back to back. Like, I don't just sign up for the second tour. Like, when I'm done with a game, I normally just delete it and move on with my life. But because, again, like I mentioned before, like, because of the side missions they were talking about, it changes how that game is played, and I kind of wanted to see what that looked like and didn't want to wait. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever, just start a new one and keep going. So I'm slowly getting through that. Yeah, that's about it, really. I'm just mellowing around, chilling, trying to figure some things out. I don't know, just chilling. Y'all got some big things. Y'all got some big things going on, and I just like.
What I love to hear so much, is just that you have time to enjoy games for your own sake. That makes me happy.
That.
Like, now that you mention that too, it's weird because it's like I'm looking at it, it's like, well, I haven't streamed because of the fact that that's what I'm doing. But to think about the other times in which I haven't been streaming, I have not played games in those same times either. So this is like even then it's still a weird thing of like I'm still playing video games, like I'm not streaming, but I'm actually playing video games, actually doing something I enjoy. And honestly, I think it's just me trying to figure out how to use this space, even just for my own personal enjoyment. Like to be able to sit on this couch, watch TV with my Switch, or sit at the computer, play some Cyberpunk. Oh, one thing I did do, I got two things. I bought another one of these Elgato solid arms. I bought it for my ring light, so now I can actually, I've kind of tested it out with my unboxing setup. Looks a little bit better now because now it's not kind of sitting on an edge of the surface that I'm using. Right. So I can't wait to get more things to unbox so I can shoot more videos. Also, it kind of holds my camera up in a way to where I do not have to have it sitting in the middle of the ring and give me that weird little ring eye effect thing that I hate. I do not like that lighting effect. So now I can kind of sit in the way and turn the ring light down to where it's just providing light and not the whole ring effect.
Right.
So pretty excited about all that stuff. And I also got a UV sanitizer, I think it's a UV sanitizer for phones. I mainly skipped out on all of that until also Samsung made one. And so I bought Samsung's. That came in today, and my wife asked me, so how do you know it works? It's like, I honestly cannot tell you if it's working because they tell me not to open it when it's on. And if I open it, the light cuts off. Right. So it's like, I don't know. I honestly do not know. It did not cost me a lot. If it makes, the most it does that I can verify that it does do is charge my phone because it does have a wireless charger in it.
Oh, well, that's dope.
So all I can say is if it does that, then it's providing a service. It costs not as much as a wireless charger would cost, a good one. And if it makes me believe that it's cleaning it, it's not like it's making it dirtier.
Right.
So, hey, it's a placebo effect. I'm okay.
Right.
But it did make the devices warmer, which made me feel like the light was on. So something is on in there. So I don't know. If it bakes it, sure. If it UV lights it, okay. I'm okay. It's a pretty cool thing, and hey. You only got your second monitor at Christmas. It's fantastic. I'm telling you, multiple monitors. If you are not in the multiple monitor gang, you're missing out.
You have to go fix that. Especially if you can get one on the cheap, the second one on the cheap. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Shoot, I typically would use my old monitor as my secondary monitor. It's kind of weird with the aspect ratios, but at least it works. At least that gets you started on the second the dual monitor setup.
Right. Yeah, I was looking into getting a monitor stand and plugging that into my MacBook.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. If anything, I was just looking for a way to move the MacBook out of the way of my Mac Mini so I can access the dock for it that I have, so I can plug USB things into it. So yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it. We're done. Again, shout out to Anka. Hope you feel better. Get that rest. Take a break. Take it easy. I don't think things getting difficult at certain points. So yeah, always get the rest whenever you can. What are you waiting for?
Oh, sorry about that. This freaking ad popped up. What the hell?
Oh my goodness!
Finger hit a YouTube video, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I tried to close out of it. Then picture-in-picture mode came up, and I'm like, ah. Ah! So I was like,
Ah!
yeah. I was about to yeet my own phone across the room.
On that note, we're going to head up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for January 21st, 2021. Of course, I've been your host, Marcus, Major Linux Summers, on behalf of KKS Game, on behalf of Zinziak, on behalf of Anka. You all could have been anywhere in the world, watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech news yourself, but no, you decided to sit and pout like Bernie and let us read all the
Not
news there.
pout like Birdie.
Pout like Bernie and let us read these tech news stories to you in this personal pan pizza that we call life.
Yes.
See, I got another one. So I'm going to end on a good one. Personal pan pizza. And we appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And of course, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is I love you. Peace. How?
Wakanda forever.